Hi, everyone. My name is Nick, and I'm the founder of RevUp Dental. Today, we're interviewing Tim Brown, who's the CEO of ROI Corp. He's a good friend of mine and a huge wall of knowledge about the dental industry. Now, Tim, on a recent call, you mentioned something that I thought was very interesting. It really made me change my mind about a few things. And I thought, dentists might be interested to know too. For the longest time, whenever someone's come to us, like as an associate or a new dentist, and they ask for advice on where should I buy a practice, I always tell them, do your research and buy a practice in the area that has the most economic opportunity. But you mentioned something that really kind of made me rethink this, and that there's a lot of value in buying a practice that, it's in a community you want to live in and you want to be part of. Because if you're just going there to work and then you get in your car and you drive home to where you actually live, people will notice that you're just a dentist that just comes in for some money, but you don't really care about the community. You don't show up to the events. You're not part of the charity work, things like that. And that actually does affect you negatively over the long term. So I thought maybe you could talk a little bit about this sort of problem and give us your view on it.
So let's go back to what was taught and is still taught at the dental school level about selecting a place to practice dentistry, a location. There's always been bantered about some slide rule formulas, some quick calculations as to the ratio of dentist to patient. And doctor, you should go where there's a lot more patients than there are dentists, because that means more people to treat. And that's absolutely true. But quite frankly, anything within 2 hours today of any major city in Toronto is oversaturated with dentists. So those ratios, as much as they do matter, they don't matter as much anymore because there's too many dentists, too many dental offices everywhere. So let's just say that exists, and it's just not as important as it used to be. And by the way, that ratio used to be 1 to 1,500, one dentist to 1,500 people. And of course, there's other calculations we can make for the competency of calculations for equivalent full-time. If you count the number of dentists in the book in a town like, say, Brampton, but if one of them works 1 day a week and one works 2 days a week, that's not equivalent full-time capacity. Our company does those calculations. But more importantly, what I've said to dentists over the years is, sure, there's high growth in, say, Milton, Ontario, or in Oshawa, Ontario. There's new housing, there's new populations. But everywhere that happens, there's new plazas. And all of those plazas contain a new dental office that does not have any patients at the starting date. So they're trying to absorb the new population as much as any other dental practice in town is. So putting all of that aside for a minute, and the old real estate adage is location, location, location. Sure.
Right.
Why don't you practice where you want to practice? Why don't you consider practicing where you want to live? There's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, commuting. The less a dentist commutes to work, the more time they have to either dedicate to the business and grow it for marketing and other opportunities, or more time for family. So I know dentists that are commuting a minimum 1 hour a day each way, 2 hours a day, 10 hours a week to go to where the money is or to where the opportunity is, but they're not happy. They don't like the commute, and they're spending 10 hours of their life driving. And sure, we can talk on the phone and make some productive time of drive time, but I don't want to do that. So putting that aside and just going down to the core of it is practice and live in the community where you want to be first, and an opportunity will eventually come available there if you're patient enough. And if you can't find a practice to buy, you can certainly start one there, and you will be happier. And if you dedicate your non-practice hours to living, working, shopping, and supporting that community, the patients will know that. They'll know that you're part of their area, and they will refer to you and support you much more vibrantly than the Monday to Friday dentist who drives in the morning, drives out at night, and is never seen on the weekends.